5 words that changed everything. The sound of the door slamming behind me was louder than thunder. For a moment, I just stood there on the porch, clutching my old duffel bag, staring at the white door that separated me from my daughter, my only child, and my 6-year-old grandson, Tommy. It was hard to believe it had come to this. "Dad, you can't stay here anymore," she'd said. "It's too much. You don't listen. And you undermine me with Tommy." I hadn't meant to. God knows I hadn't. But when you're 70 and your bones creak louder than the floorboards, sometimes your mouth runs ahead of your sense. So there I was, standing under a gray sky, with nowhere to go but the bus stop 2 blocks down. My daughter's words echoed in my head like a broken record. "You make it hard, Dad." "You always have." Maybe she was right. The next morning, I was sitting in a half-empty diner near the edge of town. My coffee was cold, my eggs were worse, and my heart felt like a rock sitting in my chest. I'd rented a tiny room at the Maple Inn, the kind of place that smelled like wet carpet and lost dreams. The room had one window, a flickering lamp, and a view of the parking lot. I kept checking my phone, hoping for a message. Nothing. Then, around noon, my phone buzzed. My heart jumped, but it wasn't my daughter. It was Tommy. "Tommy, Grandpa, can I see you?" My fingers trembled as I typed back. "Me. Your mom says it's okay?" Tommy. "No. But I really need to." I hesitated. My daughter would have my head. "But Tommy, that boy was my whole world. He was the reason I'd moved back after my wife died. The reason I got up in the morning." "M.E. Okay, buddy. Meet me at the park." He came running down the hill, backpack bouncing, hair sticking up like a dandelion. When he saw me, he yelled, "Grandpa!" and launched himself into my arms. For the first time in days, I laughed. He smelled like peanut butter and grass, the smell of childhood, the smell of home. "I missed you," he said. "Mom's mad all the time now." I sighed. "She's just under a lot of pressure, kiddo. Grown-up stuff." Tommy frowned. "You didn't do anything bad. You just told me I could climb trees. Mom says it's dangerous." I smiled weakly. "Well, maybe I should have checked with her first." He kicked a rock. "She cries at night, Grandpa." That hit harder than I expected. I looked away, pretending to watch a squirrel dart up a tree. "Sometimes," he added quietly, "she looks at your chair and gets really quiet." We sat on the park bench for a while. He drew shapes in the dirt with a stick, and I tried to think of what to say. I wanted to fix everything, to take back the words, the arguments, the pride. "Hey, buddy," I said finally, "your mom loves you a lot. You know that, right?" He nodded. "She loves you too. She just doesn't remember how the next few days blurred together." I walked around town, looked at job boards, as if anyone would hire an old man with a bad knee, and tried not to think about the house that used to be mine, too. Then, one rainy afternoon, someone knocked on my motel door. It was Tommy again, soaking wet, holding a drawing in his hand. "Tommy, what are you doing out here?" I grabbed a towel and pulled him inside. He handed me the paper. It was a crayon drawing of the 3 of us, me, my daughter, and him. Above us, in big, shaky letters, he'd written, "Family belongs together always." And then, in the corner, 5 little words that made my throat close up. "Please, come home, Grandpa." I felt something break open inside me. "Does your mom know you're here?" I asked softly. He shook his head, eyes full of tears. She said, "You're too stubborn." But I told her, "You're just sad." Before I could respond, there was another knock, sharper this time. My daughter's voice came through the door, tight and trembling. "Dad, are you in there?" I opened it, heart pounding. She stood there, hair plastered from the rain, eyes red. She looked so much like her mother in that moment that it nearly undid me. "Tommy ran off," she said, breathless. I was terrified. Then she saw him beside me, clutching my sleeve. She froze. "Tommy, you can't just—" He interrupted her, voice trembling but clear. "Mom, Grandpa's lonely. And you're lonely. Can't we all just be not lonely?" Together. Silence. Just the sound of the rain hitting the parking lot. Her eyes filled. She looked at me. Really looked at me. For the first time in months. "I'm sorry," she whispered. "I shouldn't have said those things." I shook my head. "No, sweetheart. I wasn't easy. I know that." We both laughed, though it came out wet and shaky. Then she said, "Come home, Dad." "Please." That night, I sat in my old chair again, watching Tommy build a blanket fort in the living room. My daughter was in the kitchen, humming softly as she cooked. The air felt lighter. The walls, warmer. Tommy peeked out from his fort. "See, Grandpa? I told you it'd be okay." I smiled. "Yeah, buddy. You sure did," he grinned. "Told Mom you're the best storyteller in the world." "Did you now?" "Uh-huh," he said proudly. "But I like it best when you tell stories about when you were a kid." "Well," I said, settling into my chair, "I've got a few of those left." As I began to tell him about summers on the farm, my daughter came and sat quietly beside us. For the first time in a long while, I felt whole again. 5 little words had done what pride, arguments, and years of silence never could. "Please come home, Grandpa." And I did.